That's a good rotten carrot. Please, for the love of Ender Dragon, let this be the way out. Wait a minute. This music.
Hello again, my chickadees. What? Steve!
Oh God, not again.
How many times do I have to tell you?
Wait.
This is the
This
last
isn't on
time you
purpose.
interrupt me, you block-headed turd.
I swear.
Come out of
Stop
there
it,
right now!
I'm fixing it.
Now you come back, you
I think I just blocked in my pants.
Final Fantasy XVI is the latest entry into this long-running franchise and is developed by the team of Savior Yoshi P and published by Square-Enix. With the mainline entry since X2 being subpar, or not up to the standards people expect of Final Fantasy, it became time again for Yoshi P to attempt righting the wrongs just like he did with Final Fantasy XIV. But does he succeed in making Final Fantasy XVI a hit where all other mainline entries failed? Or is this just another game in the long line of titles that needs one last Phoenix down? Only one way to find out, so let's go! Story. For centuries, people have flocked to her Mothercrystals to partake of their blessing, the abundant aether that fuels the magics they rely upon in their everyday lives. As the aether begins to fade and the lifeless deadlands spread even further, so too does the struggle for possession of the final flickers of Mother's light grow ever more fierce. Yet, amidst the gathering storm, there are those who believe that the legacy of the crystals has shaped mankind's destiny for long enough. Gameplay. I have been given the privilege to review titles like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Intergrade, Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, and many other titles. But this is the first time I've actually gotten the chance to review a mainline entry into the series. Sure, I have one planned for some point in the future, hopefully with Final Fantasy X with all of its weirdness of borderline racist Waka and Mr. Laughing Gas Man himself, Titus.
But this isn't our bed shop. Ah, those Al Bhed? I can't believe I've been traveling with an Al Bhed, a heathen.
He really hates them, huh?
But Final Fantasy XVI here will be the first official mainline covered, for better or for worse. So far 2023 has been an absolute juggernaut for either big releases or just anticipated titles in general for most gamers. Well, everyone but me, considering we still don't have a proper sequel to Don't Shit Your Pants. But hopefully dreams will come true eventually. With big titles like Resident Evil 4 Remake, Jedi Survivor, Hogwarts Legacy, One Piece Odyssey, Tears of the Kingdom, Street Fighter 6, etc. Yeah, okay, you get it. The year has been absolutely stacked with people's self-proclaimed Game of the Year. Seriously, that phrase gets thrown about more than a 13-year-old's retainer at a Justin Bieber concert. What? You're telling me that's never happened? Well, never say never. Okay, sorry, that's my one and only Justin Bieber joke. Believe that. Okay, seriously, that was my last one. With other PS5 powerhouses on the way like Spider-Man 2, Square-Enix and Yoshi P attempt to give both Final Fantasy fans and PS5 owners a reason to chalk up another W in the win column for the exclusive club. But not without ruffling a few feathers along the way with adopting a new gameplay mechanic, action-oriented, more cutscenes, and a darker narrative that we've never really seen in a Final Fantasy game, barring the MMO Final Fantasy XIV, which can get super dark. If you've watched my Endwalker review, then you know what I'm talking about. Villages slain and babies kicked into a lake, and me taking nearly 30 minutes to swim to find it. Sounds nuts? Well, that's because it was. But just go watch it for yourself for further context. Trust me, it's freaking hilarious. I mean, devastating. Thrusting us into the new fantasy world of Philistia, the journey takes you across two vast lands that break up in a way to what you would call a miniature continent if I had to describe it in any way. Your goal when setting out into this bristling, vibrant world are for you to investigate and discover 5 giant Mothercrystals that are scattered throughout this broadened world. But all is not as easy as just simply walking over and saying what's up and interacting with them. Heck no. This ain't no picnic, b****. I apologize. I don't know why I just randomly thought of Malibu's Most Wanted, which has nothing to do with Final Fantasy nor gaming. Head is weird today. But as I was saying, it will not be easy. As just in real life, where politics and countries' egos get in the way of working together in peace, so too does it here, with nation-states fighting for both all-out supremacy or struggling for survival as they control and harbor these crystals for their own sakes. whether that's for good reasons or evil reasons. As lore states, the crystals are what give everything in these lands their power, or making nations feel emboldened to pursue tactical advantages over a neighboring nation, alongside special cases of humans called dominants. These dominants harness the power of legends, some of who, if you've played any Final Fantasy game at all, you know very well, such as Ifrit, Garuda, Titan, who isn't a thong-wearing fatty this time around, and others like Shiva. The take on icons is similar to the way it worked with Final Fantasy XIV, with the human civilians being the host to a godly power of the primals that with any split decision or intense moment could unleash a beast into the world, to leave the land in utter ruin. Man, I wish I was an icon host. TMV lines would be much shorter that way. I'm sorry, miss. Your wait time is approximately 5 hours. Oh, okay.
I'll be back. Come to me, Ifrit!
Boom! Oh yeah, it would be totally over. First in line now, baby! While summons and primals have been major deals in the past for Final Fantasy titles, Final Fantasy XVI's approach to me seems to put them back on the glorious spotlight they deserve, and rather than being one-off button clicks, they are now staggering behemoth-like kaiju that have immense power and borderline being their own nuclear threats as far as power scaling goes.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000!
Kaboom! Sorry, Vegeta, you'd have no time to respond. Looks like you're dead. Wait, you dodged that? Then who was that? Oh, now it makes sense. Okay. Primals aren't the only change to the series norms this go around either, especially when compared to past series protagonists. With Final Fantasy X, you had a quirky and goofy Tidus alongside the dancing lunatic Yuna.
How many died today? People die and Yuna dances. When will she stop dancing? When will it stop? Yuna won't stop dancing.
Final Fantasy XII had an annoying pretty boy Vaughn and annoying Ash. Final Fantasy XIII copy and paste gender swap of Cloud with Lightning. And Final Fantasy XV had boy band adventures and bromance friendships. Here in Final Fantasy XVI, however, Yoshi P decides to pull one of his own character treats from Final Fantasy XIV and put it into a single-player experience for our new main character, Clive. If you have played Final Fantasy XIV, then you will notice that Clive is extremely similar to the fan favorite known as Ardbert, both with the character arcs and their look, which admittedly took me out of it a bit, but still, it's not really a complaint, as that's a very good similarity to have.
At long last, you see. To save our world, we gave our lives. We were just adventurers trying to make our way. An odd job here, a favor there. We never aspired to be warriors of light. But word of our deeds spread, and soon people were calling us heroes. They placed their hopes and dreams on our shoulders and bid us fight for all that was good and right. We fought, and we fought, and we fought, until there was no one left to fight. We won! And now our world is being erased from existence. We did everything right. Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this. You of all people should understand. We will not falter. We brought our world to the brink of destruction, and now we must save it.
I've done. It was me. I killed Joshua. I did this. I killed him. Kill me. It was me. I killed him. I killed Joshua. I killed them all.
Definitely better than someone saying, "Hey bro, you look like Seymour," or even Quina from Final Fantasy IX. Be very, very, very thankful. When starting the game, you learn Clive is less than a spirited mercenary who is basically disowned by his own mother and no longer the heir to the throne of Rosaria, like he was destined to become, with our first glimpse into the mysteries of why this is, taking place in the opening moments of the game with an on-the-rails Panzer Dragoon-like epic fight between Ifrit and Phoenix as they do battle for ultimate fire supremacy. which ends in an extremely emotional scene that makes you slam your controller to the ground, call Clive's mom every degenerative word in the English language, and threaten to sue Square-Enix for not giving you a heads up to tell your parents to sign your permission slip because you didn't know today was the day you'd be going on that fields trip. Who do they think they are, Netflix's fastest car? The narrative tends to skip around quite a bit due to time jumps from his youth, and then to the events of him now during adulthood, so that you get a full circle type of setting for him that lets you immediately relate to him or feel for him because he's already been fleshed out in every way possible without having too much over-exhausting lengths of exposition. Following alongside him through 3 distinct time periods, you meet a wide variety of cast members, love interests, enemies, and assemble allies as you learn slowly how to utilize your power of the icons. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Like, oh my god, that's basically like every coming-of-age hero story like ever. Well, Blondie, go scratch and sniff a sticker on the bottom of the pool again, because, while yes, on paper it seems like that, overall, with its grim and mature story and engaging boss battles, brutal fights, high-octane action, and emotional circumstances, it makes it feel more fleshed out and realized, and instills a tad bit unique qualities into this mainline entry that weren't present in recent Final Fantasy games. Aside from just strictly the main story campaign, the side quests in this game, while some being a must in order to learn more about the characters and their motives, can offer you a break from all of the serious moments and offer some sort of comic relief, silly moments, or down-to-earth lighthearted times that give you a good balance in between the intensely serious nature of the main story. But story itself aside, this game is chalked up with hours and hours of voice acting, and it honestly surprised me, because usually Final Fantasy has tons of voice acting, but I've never seen it go to this extreme. And thus created the meme for the game where people were saying they can't wait to play Final Fantasy 16, and then they just put their controller down and eat popcorn due to the absurd amount of cutscenes and dialogue. Sort of in the vein of the joke that PlayStation focuses only on making movies and walking simulations, that type of dig. But with those long hours of voice acting, don't let it fool you, because the performances are absolutely amazing. With Clive's line deliveries and dramatic scenes during invasions, death, assaults, heated arguments, you believe it when Clive speaks, and you feel it. Whether he's crying over a devastating loss, having sexy time with a very cool lady, and then getting bonked on the head by Doggo, or something as small as interacting with his good old pupper friend named Torgal, if Clive speaks it, we listen. Well, unless Freddy steals your hearing aid and tortures you with it. But hey, that's what you got subtitles for, you goof. While voice acting, narrative, and graphics can be the bright side of what this title has going for it, there is one aspect of it that breaks tradition and takes this game and franchise in a whole other direction that has longtime fans extremely divided. What is that, you ask? You want to know? Well, I missed the part where that's my problem. I mean, the game's combat. Doing a total turn on its head moment and doing away with turn-based, Final Fantasy XVI jumps into the fray of real-time action battles that rely heavily on timers and cooldowns that resemble both fighting mechanics you find in an MMO and action combo varieties from titles like a Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, albeit on a more user-friendly basis than those titles, in which this combat goes from full-fledged action combat to transitioning into high-octane, explosive confrontations as you take on the power of an icon. Further diving into the combat and its similarities with other action-based games on the market, you can melee with any upgradable weapon normally without powers, or switch and cycle through icon powers on the fly with powers gifted to you from an Ifrit for fast-paced fire attacks or shields and hard-hitting attacks from Titan. Executing each combo never feels like something that's hard to learn or out of reach for a player of any skill level. And mastering precision dodging and utilizing the game's parry system keeps the game both engaging on the intensity meter, but also becomes pivotal in your quest to survive. Should you not try to learn the system though, you will be plowing through health items left and right just to replenish that sweet, sweet health bar. Yes, even though you have an array of extra abilities at your disposal for each icon you unlock and upgrade via your skill tree for new attacks and combinations, parry will be your friend. Just remember, kids. Harry is a friend of mine. Harry is my homie. Harry is a friend of mine. I have a friend in Harry. Harry is a friend of mine. Harry's a friend of mine. Harry is a friend of mine. He taught me to do blocks, just how it needs to be. He taught me how to dodge counter when others slice at me. I failed parry before, and I can tell you that. He taught me if you miss, they'll kick your ass. Huh? I get the gripes of combat, I really do. I love my traditional turn-based combat just as much as everyone else. Hell, I grew up on these same titles. Heck, I even would have taken another variation of Final Fantasy VII's remake combat system for this. But again, while the combat system in 16 isn't as complex and overthought like Resident Evil 4, Devil May Cry, it does its job and provides a player with fast-moving action that doesn't get overly hard to use or full-on stagnant as a lot of other games on the market tend to after 20 hours into it. Through the title's easy-to-pick-up-and-play nature, which is due to this combat in itself, you do not have to focus squarely on the hours of grinding out a level or spending a billion hours grinding out upgrade points for your icon or character level for your skill tree. Nope. Instead, you can take your crazy SpongeBob-shaped butt self through a variety of maps that will venture from linear areas that follow a set path with very minor deviations to more open-ended areas that feel largely interconnected, that make it feel more like large hub zones that are stitched together, in which through these you may grind, explore, find treasure, new weapons and armor, or unlock a chocobo that allows for faster travel and traversal. Choice is king, and the game does not limit you on how you wish to play. If you're going to go into this title to be surprised by anything, I say it's going to end up being your hate for Clive's mom. I cannot stand this freaking bitchful ass and her when she sucks on the streets as you roll like a pig doing ass wanking for no joke. This woman is mad evil and extremely annoying. So much so that you wish for her demise at your own hands literally within the first 30 minutes of the game. I don't want to go into too many spoilers in this review, because the story of Garuda and Sid, Jill and Clive, Joshua and his ordeals are moments that should be experienced yourself. But Clive's mom, if you turn the B meter up to an 11, that's still too low. It's because of her that the narrative is one of the tone of grim, which only escalates in grim intensity by the over-the-top action of the battle system that makes you feel like Clive, through his actions, is letting out all of his hatred and emotion that he's holding within him. But the game isn't all Moogles and Quez, though, because there are several issues I have with the game, even if they aren't that big. My first gripe is that sometimes the cutscenes go on a little too long and can feel like you're watching a movie. A very good movie at that, but it more so feels like the game playing itself for you. In some self-masturbatory game session where you can sit down your controller and literally leave the room for like 20 minutes to take a monster dump, come back, and it's still not over. The dialogue, I feel, could have gotten the same point across in some areas by cutting 3 to 4 minutes here and there. My second gripe has to do with the balancing of the side quests and their rewards. Yes, I know, not all side quests can give out amazing items, that makes perfect sense. But when you do a fetch quest that requires you to go look around for nearly 2 hours, only to get a throwaway item of no value, it just makes you think, why the heck did I just pull a Where's Waldo and find an ugly man with a crappy looking hat? It feels pointless at times, even though the narrative-based side quests are pretty damn awesome. Finally, my last gripe is the game's length, with the game telling at around 50 hours or longer, just your vanilla run without side quests. It can feel like an overstay of its welcome. Not because it's bad or gets boring, no way. Merely because some of the game's dialogue goes in a circle and suffers from the same points of interest that its inspirations fall victim to, like Game of Thrones. Too much talking, too much explaining, and just people re-explaining what you just learned a few minutes prior. Again, none of what you learn is bad, but it leaves you saying, okay, shut up already, I get it, let me get back to the game. Overall, at the end of the day, Final Fantasy XVI ends up as one of the titles that can challenge Hogwarts Legacy and Tears of the Kingdom as a potential game of the year when all things are considered. Sure, it has issues, with its long-winded pacing that sometimes becomes exposition pieces, longer than needed game length, and some side quests feeling like a waste of time. But with its amazing voice acting, gigantic kaiju primal battles, fast-paced action combat, beautiful world to explore, narrative that makes you angry and emotional, and a masterful soundtrack by Soken, all of it adds up to the best mainline entry into the Final Fantasy franchise since Final Fantasy X. Yoshi P, you've done it again. So with all that having been said, my verdict is clear. Game & Chick says buy now.
What are you gonna do?
Told you. We're gonna hang out. Gonna watch a movie. Gonna take some pictures. And I'll pay you.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that review, and I look forward to bringing more to you in the coming future. For new people, feel free to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like or share. And for people already subscribed, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you do not miss out on any future content upload. Also, feel free to click on my other reviews and
wish Keith would actually buy a plunger. I'm tired of using my hands. He probably has me do it due to my block hands. Makes sense. Wait, he has block hands too. What in the hell is that? I gotta warn the others, this is not good. What are you? What do you want? Just leave me alone. No, wait, stop. I don't want to go. Where am I heading? Will I ever see my friends again? My family? Tell me, please. Will I still dream? What? Ow, my head. Where am I? Am I home? What is that music? Sounds like it's coming from behind the wall.
David checks back once again with another movie. Huh? What the heck is that noise? Digging? Steve? What the heck? You're
What?
breaking through my introduction logo.
Wait, this
Look
isn't
what you
right.
did.
My
You
God.
completely ruined my
I'm so
background.
sorry. Wait,
Fix it.
I can fix
Come
this.
on, hurry up.
You got a nice floor.
Steve!
All right, I'm going.
Thank you.
This won't be free.
I'm not paying you.
I'll accept diamonds.